Welcome to California in Focus. I'm your host, Keegan Kernodle. Joining me today is the Center Square's California reporter, Kenneth Schrupp. Kenneth is based in Los Angeles and has been covering the riots that have been going down, the now 2025 LA riots. Kenneth, can you give us some background for this?
Hey, Keegan. These protests turned riots started on Friday after ICE conducted several operations that day, including of individuals with outstanding deportation or other warrants signed by judges. On Friday, protesters surrounded the federal detention center in downtown Los Angeles, and that protest turned violent when rioters started using hammers to break off bits of concrete from surrounding structures and throw them at officers. Things got worse on Saturday morning when rioters started hurling large boulders at the windshields of federal agents' vehicles as they're driving by. There's dramatic video showing this happen at the moment when a large boulder went even through one of the federal agents' vehicles. It appears that that individual is currently wanted by the FBI, and a reward has been put up for his arrest. Things did continue to get worse on Saturday. That's when we also had that very famous photograph by Reuters of a man waving that Mexican flag while riding a motorcycle in circles around a burning vehicle in front of a front line of police. I think that's the image that many Americans are going to associate with these riots. As things continue to get worse on Saturday, very late on Saturday night, President Trump federalized 2,000 members of the National Guard, and he ordered them to Los Angeles without approval from Governor Gavin Newsom. I believe at the time, most of these National Guard members were only sent in to protect federal property. I have seen reports that they are now accompanying some ICE agents on raids. I haven't confirmed that, but it appears that they may be being used for more than just protecting federal property now. But this has led Governor Newsom to blame Trump for what happened on Sunday, which was a dramatic escalation in violence. That's when we saw those images of that line of Waymos. 5 cars were ordered into one spot and set on fire. Those are some toxic fumes coming out of electric vehicles that burn for a very long time, and they burn very hot. Violence continued leading on Sunday night, leading LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell to say that LAPD is, quote, overwhelmed and that there's, quote, no limit to what they are doing to our officers, end quote. They, speaking, of course, of the rioters. Videos that day were just brutal. That they included videos of horse-mounted officers being ambushed with flames, concrete, and even those electric bikes and scooters for hire that litter the streets of LA being dropped off bridges onto officers' heads and vehicles below. I remember seeing officers trapped under a bridge trying to escape this barrage of heavy objects being thrown from dozens of feet above them. And the firing of these commercial mortar and rocket fireworks at police. These are large explosives that are very dangerous. This continued on to Monday. This violence, Monday was still violent, and there's large-scale looting on Monday night as well. This included a shoe palace, an Adidas, Apple store, jewelry store, and a marijuana dispensary. Even a sushi restaurant got vandalized. By Tuesday, though, it appears that the city decided it was time to change course. Mayor Karen Bass ordered a curfew for all of downtown LA starting at 8 p.m. Pacific, and the curfews appear to have worked. There appears to be relative peace on Tuesday night and Wednesday night, which was last night. Notably, there does seem to still be some violence before the curfews. Yesterday, LAPD reported that its officers are still having rocks and, quote, commercial grade fireworks thrown at them. I think we should really take commercial grade fireworks to mean explosives, because these are not small fireworks, as you can see in footage of these incidents.
Now, you also reported on California providing funding to these anti-deportation groups, including ones that have organized some of these protests. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, government transparency group Open the Books reported that the state of California has provided anti-deportation groups with $73.6 million in 2023 and 2024. The main recipient of this funding does appear to be the Coalition for Humane Immigration Rights of Los Angeles, which received $35 million. We covered this group's $500,000 or so grant from the Biden administration on Saturday, really demonstrating that this funding is coming from federal and state taxpayers. It's coming from taxpayers everywhere in the country. California lawmakers have responded by asking for an audit to the extent to which state funding is subsidizing protest and activism related activities. Chirla, the group that we just referenced, does seem to engage in a significant amount of activism and activism training. Open the Books report talked about the Wise Up program, using Chirla's own website to discuss what this program does. Essentially, I mean, I'll let the website speak for itself. Wise Up, quote, seeks to, quote, organize high school students, both undocumented and allies, around immigrant rights and full access to educational opportunities, end quote. And it also aims to, quote, engage students civically to fight in the legislative arena and the public square for measures that ease their access to education and citizenship. Chirla's website also points out their advocacy pillars, which includes challenge anti-immigrant legislation, reduce immigration enforcement, and invest in immigrant communities. The audit letter from the state Republicans also includes the removal defense team that Chirla funds that provides deportation defense, and allegations that Chirla has, quote, materially and financially supported the coordinated protests and riots that have wreaked havoc on portions of Los Angeles, end quote. We have a photo from on the center square of Chirla actually being present and organizing some of these events. It seems Chirla's own social media presence seems to support this. They include recent posts for a hotline on reporting sightings of federal immigration agents. They even on Instagram posted a very long video of this rally in front of LA City Hall, which included Chirla's executive director speaking and directly being followed by LA Mayor Karen Bass.
Now, the Center Square has also previously reported on California's funding for deportation defense. Can you tell us more about that as well?
Yes. Last year, we did allocate $24 million solely for deportation defense and another $37 million for a wide range of immigration-related legal services for both legal and undocumented immigrants, which could also include deportation defense. We have sustained this funding this year. In February, Governor Newsom signed a bill authorizing another $25 million in legal aid for residents, but it's mostly structured in such a way that the majority does seem like it's going to go towards deportation defense as well.
Well, thanks, Kenneth, for getting into this with us. Readers and listeners can keep up with this story and more as we follow what's going on all across the country at thecentersquare.com. Thanks for joining us for another episode of California in Focus.